Hey vlogdom, it's Monday. Or should I say, hey Amanda, because we're the only ones making videos. Actually, I think Amanda already used that joke, but that's okay, I'm going to use it anyway. While the rest of you are out not posting videos, Amanda suggested as a theme, for the two of us at least, we do an education week. I think this is an excellent idea and I'm going to do it. At first I wasn't exactly sure what to teach you, because I don't really think I'm qualified to teach much, because I don't think I know enough about any one subject to teach it. Additionally, I'm not very good at teaching. Plus, as John said, you have to be able to teach the boring bits as well as the exciting bits, and I don't think I'd be very good at that. But it's the theme, so I'm going to try it. So I started thinking back to high school and about my best subjects and about what I really know. And one of my best subjects was choir. I was in choir for about 6 years, and in that time I learned quite a bit about music theory and all that. So today, I'm going to attempt to teach you the basics of music theory. I'm only doing the basics because I don't know everything about music theory, I just have a basic understanding. Here is me attempting to teach you music theory. You should know that this right here is called a staff. This is what everybody who writes music writes it on. And after you know what a staff is, you should learn what a clef is. The most common clef is a treble clef, which looks something like this. It's not a circle, I'm just not done drawing it yet. Just give me a minute. And that's a treble clef. There's also a bass clef, which looks something like that. But a bass clef is commonly used by guys because it's a very low register, and so I only used a bass clef maybe once or twice in my entire choir history. So I'm not going to talk about the bass clef today. Now you need to learn the do scale. The do scale is made up of one octave. An octave is 8 notes. It goes from do to do, and there are notes in between there, obviously. Each note has a corresponding letter. So, for example, when you have do, you also have si, and you can just write that kind of as a fraction. It's not really a fraction, but it looks like a fraction, so we're just going to continue to call it a fraction. Following that, you have D, and that corresponds to re, which is followed by mi. Of course, we have F, fa, and I'm going to move down here. And then we have G, which goes with sol, A, la, B, T, and then back to do. By the way, I have terrible penmanship, if you haven't noticed already. This being said, a lot of music teachers teach it with hand signs because the hand signs kind of make it easier. So for do, they have this, and for re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. In those hand signs, the do goes down by your belly button, which you can't see because it's out of the frame. Re goes a little bit higher than that, kind of right here-ish. Mi is right around here. Fa, sol, la, ti, and do. If you were to sing that, it would sound something like this. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. That's your do scale. How to write that on a staff. A trick to the staff is this. For the spaces, they are called face. For the lines, there's lots of different lines, but the most common is every good boy deserves fudge. With this, For example, you could take B, BT, that would go on the B line right here. A would go into this space, and so on. Also, there are different notes. An eighth note, which is that is worth an eighth a beat. Quarter note, which is worth a fourth a beat. And half a note, I think you can guess what that's worth. And then, of course, a whole note, which is 1. One more thing you should know is a few symbols. If you see 2 lines at the end of a piece of music, that means that it's done, which is why it's at the end. If you see 1 line, that separates each measure. Each measure can have a certain number of beats. For example, you could have like 8 half notes, and that would be 4 beats per measure. And then all the measures in that piece of music would have 4 beats. But anyways, this is a measure line. You could also have this, which is a repeat sign, a line with 2 dots, in case you can't see that. And those are just a few common symbols that you should know. And that is a very, 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 very basic understanding of music theory. From there, you can go on and you can put any of the notes you just learned onto the treble clef in any of the lines or spaces. You could also put them on a bass clef, but again, not going into that. And hopefully I see Zach tomorrow and everybody else comes back. But if I don't, Amanda, I'll see you on Friday. And whoever's up next, you're up next.